Student experiment is a speed control of DC motor. Right. So what is the basic ways to control the speed? You might have when you have studied this DC machines 2.1 or 2.2. Last semester only you studied, right? When you have studied this? In which semester you studied this?
Last semester.
Machines one. Right. Okay. So it is completed, right? Means before that COVID-19 it is completed or they started?
Not sure.
Okay then. Okay, right. You know these basic relations, right? So if you consider some DC motor here, right? So I excited with some DC source, and here I connected. This is shunt winding, right? You know the basic relations, right? This is, if you assume this is RF, and this resistance is RA, and the source voltage this is Vs, right? So what is EB? What is formula for EB? What is EB? Back EMF, right? What is formula for EB? In case of shunt machine, this is Vs minus this IA-RA, right? So this is back EMF, right? This is armature current IA. Okay, right. Similarly, so what is this field current IF? So that is Vs by this field resistance RF. Right. So these are the basic relationships in a shunt machine, right? So now actually in our experiment, that is simulation experiment, so what we have to do is, what we are going to study is, first we need to design, right, some 5 HP DC motor, right, a 5 HP DC motor, and I assumed as its speed is 1220 RPM. Speed is 1220 RPM, 5 HP DC motor with source voltage of 240 volts DC, right? So we have to simulate this experiment, right? So when you are simulating this experiment, so we need to specify the design parameters for the motor, right? So I have to design a 5 HP DC motor at a speed 1220 RPM with 240 volts DC supply, right? That means that motor is fed from a 240 volts DC supply. So I also assume that this armature resistance of the armature resistance is 0.6 ohm, right? Armature resistance is 0.6 ohm, and field winding resistance, that is RF, is 240 ohm, right? I also assumed as LAF, so that is 1.8, right? You know what is LAF? In DC machine, the mutual inductance, you know that, or should I explain? Have you ever heard of this mutual inductance between M or LAF or M? Have you ever heard on this?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, right then. Right. So then we'll start from the basics, right? So what is the formula for back EMF EB? So this is P phi N Z by 60A, right? So this is the basic formula, right? So P is number of poles in the winding, phi is flux per pole, right? Is flux per pole, right? So A is the number of parallel paths, N is the speed of the rotor, right? So that is in RPM, right? The speed is in RPM. So Z is the number of conductors in the armature circuit. right? Z is the number of conductors in the armature circuit. Right. So this one we can write like this. So this EB can be written as some constant K, right? So into phi, right? Into omega m. So this omega m is the motor angular speed. So motor angular speed. So what is the relation between this n and omega m? So what is the relation between n and omega m? Can anyone tell what is the relation between these?
2 pi n by 60.
Right. You know this, right? It is 2 pi n by 60. So now it is radian per second. Right. The speed is in RPM, revolutions per minute, and this omega m is 2 pi n by 60. Right. So here, so what is the K here? If you compare these two equations, right? So what is K? So I assumed some constant K. So what is that K?
PZ by 2 pi K.
P by
Z,
K, right, into Z into 1 by 2 pi. So this is the one that is left, right? Agree? PZ by A into 2 pi, right? So PZ by A into 2 pi. So that is K. So that means EB, we have written EB as some K constant. So this is flux into angular speed omega m, right? So normally, right, if you consider a shunt machine, shunt motor, so this flux is normally constant, right? You know this, right? So normally for a shunt machine, the flux is constant. So why the flux is constant? So because it is directly fed to the supply voltage. So therefore, generally the supply voltage will not change, right? So therefore, as long as the machine is operating at some speed or certain operating conditions, the flux will be remain constant, right? So therefore, so this whatever this term is there, right? So this K is also constant, right? This K is constant, right? So here the number of poles P is constant, A the number of parallel paths that is constant, Z the number of conductors, so that is also constant, and 1 by 2 pi is anyway it's constant, right? So this entire term is constant. So we also assumed as this phi is constant, right? So therefore we can assume the another one that is KB, so K into phi. Got it? So KB is K into phi. So this KB is known as back EMF constant. So this KB is known as back EMF constant or induced EMF constant. Induced EMF constant or back EMF constant, right? It's clear. So we assume this flux phi is constant, right? So therefore this EB, so we can write like this, some KB into omega m. So EB is KB into omega m. It's clear, right? So now the flux phi, we have this flux phi, right? So how this flux phi can be defined? So that is existed in the field winding, right? So therefore normal flux formula for flux is ampere turns divided by reluctance, that gives you the flux, right? So that means it is existed in the field winding. So therefore NF into IF by reluctance, right? So here NF is number of turns in the field winding, IF is the field current, right? and this one Rm is the reluctance of the mutual path between the armature and field circuit. So that is reluctance of the mutual flux path. Right. So this adjusted between the armature and the field winding, right? So this is the classical definition for flux, right? So number of turns into current, that gives the ampere terms, divided by the reluctance, so that gives you the flux, right? So just substitute here, right? Just substitute here, clear? So that means this KB, right? So this is K times, right? This is NF, so this is IF, and this is reluctance Rm. It's clear? This is reluctance Rm. So what is K? What is K? So we already defined, or we already derived this, right? P by A. So K is P by A into Z into 1 by 2 pi, and this is NF. So this is IF by this reluctance Rm. It's clear? It's clear? So we will rearrange this one, right? So we will rearrange this one. So it is P by pi into Z by 2A, Z by 2A into N into NF by this reluctance into this IF. It's clear? It's clear? Right. So here this P by pi, so if you notice this one, right? So this term, so Z by 2A. So what is Z? Z is the number of conductors, right? So Z is the number of conductors and A is the number of parallel paths, right? So Z by 2 is, Z is the number of conductors. So that means Z by 2 is number of turns, right? Each turn having 2 conductors, right? So that means A is the number of parallel paths. So therefore Z by 2A is the number of turns per parallel path, right? Z by 2A. So that will gives you the number of turns per parallel path. So that means eventually it will gives you the armature number of turns, right? And this NF is the field winding turns, right? And you're dividing with some reluctance, right? And you have some constant here, right? So what it will gives you, multiplication of 2 windings, so divide by reluctance. So what is that? Anyone?
Inductance.
What is that? So that will gives you the mutual inductance, right? Agree? So when you're studying the definition for the coefficient coupling, so we have exercised this one, right? So that will give you the mutual inductance between the armature and the field winding, right? So here, that is not the one, that is the mutual inductance, right? So this P by pi, so this is extra component, so that means this entire thing, right? So it will make this a fictitious or imaginary inductance. Okay, so it will make it as a fictitious inductance, mutual inductance. So it is between armature and field, right? So that gives you a fictitious mutual inductance between the armature and field. So why it is imaginary? Because of this P by pi term, so that is imaginary, right? So everything is constant here, right? So what this one, right? We define this one as LAF, right? What is LAF? It is P by pi into Z by 2A into ENF divided by this reluctance Rm. Clear? So here everything is constant. The number of poles is constant, pi is constant, z is also constant, 2a is constant, and this nf, that is field winding turns, that is also constant. So this reluctance of this means reluctance of this mutual flux path, so that is also constant. So therefore this entire thing is usually constant. Right? Clear? So therefore what you left here, you left this kb equal to, right, this LAF into this IF, right? This IF. Clear? So that is the formula for KB, and you have other formula for back EMF, that is EB is KB into, right? So KB into omega m, right? So therefore EB equal to LAF IF into omega m. Is clear? So this is the back EMF for the circuit, right? So that means the back EMF of this DC motor. So that is LAF IF into omega m, right? So here this LAF for any motor, so that is specified by the manufacturer. By calculating all these variables, the manufacturer will specify what is LAF, what is armature resistance, and what is field resistance. So this LAF is very important when you are actually designing the machine, right? So everything, the current, armature current, speed of, right? So everything that depends on this LAF only. So this is provided by the manufacturer. Clear? This clear? This EB equal to LAF IF into omega m. So this LAF usually varies from between 1.1, it may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or any value, right? Okay. So now we will come to design what we are originally planned, right? So we want to design a 5 HP motor, right, with 240 volts, and the speed is 1220 RPM. So 1220 RPM. Its armature resistance is 0.6 ohm, and this field resistance RF is 240 ohm, and this LJF, right, so that is 1.8 ohm or 1.8. So just consider 1.8. Clear? Is clear? Right. So by using these parameters, so we will develop a model in a MATLAB. Right. So first we need to estimate that. So with this given data, right, whatever this given data, so you can calculate EB, right? So what is EB? EB is LJF. So LJF is 1.8, right? Into 1.8 into IF. What is IF? What is IF? Resistance is 240 volts, right? And the supply voltage is 240. So therefore it is 240 divided by 240 into, so omega m, right? So what is omega m? We have made this conversion, right? Omega m. So what is that conversion? 2 pi n by 60, right? So this is 2 pi. So n you have 1220, I assume 60. So how much you will get here? What is the answer? What is the answer for this? What is the answer for this? EB.
229.96.
So roughly 229 point.
96.
So how much? So roughly around your 230 you will get, right? Agree? Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Is it
Yes.
correct roughly? Roughly you will get 230, right? Some 229.8 or something like that you will get, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So what is this omega m? 2 pi n by 60. So what is this?
One 127.7.
127.776.
76.
Oh, so this is radian per second, right? Okay, we calculated EB, right? So we have calculated EB from the machine parameters, right? So that is 230 volts, right? So we need to calculate the armature resistance. So this armature current, right? So what is formula for IA in a shunt machine? So it is Vs minus EB divided by this armature resistance, right? Agree? This is the one, right? This is the formula for armature current, right? So how much you will get here? So it is 240 minus 230 by this armature resistance. So 0.6. So what is the answer? What is the answer for this?
16.67.
16.67 amperes, right? Okay. So armature current is 16.76 amperes. That is IA is 16.7 current. So obviously this IF is 1 ampere. That already we derived. Right. So what is the power? Electromagnetic power PE. What is PE? Hmm? So PE, right? You know this formula, right? EB into IA, right? You're aware of this formula? Someone stop your mic. So what is PE? EB into IA, right? Agree?
బాగుంటాయి ఆరెంజ్
Please turn off your mic. Okay. Okay, right. So you know this formula PE equal to EB into IA. You know this, right? That is the power generated in the armature circuit. EB into IA. So from this, what is PE? What is PE? How much it is? So EB is 230, right? So armature current is 16.67. So how much it is?
3834 watt. 3834.
3,700. How much you will get?
800. 3834.
So roughly you will get 3,800, right? Agree? This is correct? 3800 watts, right? Clear? So here, so we are trying to design for 5 HP motor, right? So 1 HP is how much it is? What is the value of 1 HP? It is 746, right? 1 HP is 746 watt, right? So if you divide this one 3800, so 746, right? So how much it is? What is the value? 3800 divided by 746.
Only five.
Hmm? How much? 5, right?
5 point, yeah.
So roughly 5 HP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is what we are planned, right? So this is how we derived, right? Disagree? It's clear. So this is EB into IA, right? So from this, we need to find out the electromagnetic torque. So if you know the power and angular speed, so what is the formula to calculate the electromagnetic torque? What is the formula to calculate the electromagnetic torque?
Power upon speed.
So electromagnetic torque is PE by angular speed omega m, right? So what is PE? So it is roughly 3800. So divide by its angular speed is 127.76, right? So how much it is? What is its value?
29.74.
29 point. How much? 7. 29.7 Newton meter. Okay. So that is the torque, electromagnetic torque that is produced, right? Okay. So all the parameters we already achieved, right? So here these are the parameters. So these are the machine data that is available to you, right? So your objective is to design a 1220 RPM, 240 volts H, 5 HP motor, right? So first thing is by using this data, you are calculated the back EMF, right? Expected back EMF you are calculated, that is roughly 230 volts, right? So from that you are calculated the armature current. So from the data, you calculated the armature current, and also you calculated the power, that is PB equal to EB into IA. So that is already cross-verified that you got 5 HP, right? And this is the electromagnetic torque that is produced by the machine, right? This is produced by the machine. So that means when you give a load torque of around this much value, so if you give this much of load torque, so then the machine is operating at full load, right? If the load torque, if you input the machine with this much of amount, that is 129.7 Newton meter, so that means the machine is completely operating at, means the machine is operating at full load. Okay, this is the load torque, right? If you assume that. So if you want off of the load, means if you want the machine to operate at off load, so that means we need to divide this one with 2. If we divide this one 2, right, so that the machine will operate at off load, right? Clear? So these are all the basics how to set the parameters in the Simulink, right? In any simulation study, right? If you know all these parameters, so we have to assume these parameters appropriately. So normally RA value is very small, it is less than 1 ohm. RF value is usually field current usually 1 ampere in the range. So LAF, so this is the important parameter, so that decides the overall current rating and all these things, right? So therefore we need to carefully choose this LAF value, right? So for the same thing, right, if you want 10 HP motor, right, if you want a 10 HP motor, so where the difference will come? So where the difference will come? So this remains same, right? So this remains same. Only thing is this current will be doubled, right? So this current will be doubled when you consider a 10 HP motor. Clear? So one way is to increase the current. Another way is to design a 10 HP motor. We have to use this LAF appropriately, right? To design another different rating motor. Clear? So this is how to set, right? So based on our original equations, now we'll discuss speed control. So you already studied this several times, right? So that back EMF EB equal to P phi NZ by 60A, right? So all these are constants. So this EB is proportional to this N. If you keep flux phi as constant, right? If you keep flux phi as constant, so all these are constant, right? So EB is Vs minus IARA, that is proportional to this N. So what you understand that if you change this drop in the voltage, right, that means this EB, so then the speed can be controlled. So one solution is to change this EB is by using some external resistance. So we need to add some external resistance, that is RA minus of IA, some R external. So this entire thing that is proportional to N. By changing this external resistance, the speed can be varied. The speed can be varied. So this is known as armature voltage control. So this is known as armature voltage control. Right? You're aware of this, right? So this is known as armature voltage control. So this external resistance, so there will be some drop in this external voltage, right? So therefore the available power to the machine will be reduced. The available power for the machine is reduced, right? So by using this, you can obtain the speed. If this is rated speed, right, you can always obtain below rated speed. You can always obtain below rated speed. So to obtain above rated speed, so we have to use the same thing, right? So we have to use the same thing. If you keep EB is constant, so in this expression P phi NZ by 60A, right? If you keep this EB constant, right? So that means this equation can be varied like this. That means N is proportional to 1 by phi. Agree? This N is proportional to 1 by phi. So when the flux decreases in the machine, the speed will increases, right? So what is the flux? So how to reduce this flux? You already studied this, right? So it is NF IF by this reluctance RM, right? So you cannot change this NF, right? And you cannot change this RM. So only way to change this IF is when you are changing this field current. So then only the flux will be reduced. So therefore this phi is proportional to IF, right? So this, what is IF? I is proportional to, so Vs by RF. So Vs by RS. So we cannot change this Vs. So when you are changing this Vs, so obviously this EB also vary, right? You cannot change Vs, right? So when you are changing this Vs, so EB also varied. So therefore, so this is not used. So only way to change this one is by changing the resistance RF, right? So by adding some external resistance RF plus some external resistance R external, right? So therefore, if you add some external resistance, so this is in the denominator side, right? So therefore, its value will be reduced. So that means the flux will be reduced and the speed will be increased. Is clear? Okay. Right. So one way is to insert additional resistance in the armature circuit to obtain the below rated speed. And the second way to modify the speed is insert resistance in the field circuit so that the current will be reduced and the flux will be reduced. So therefore the speed will be increased because we already discussed that. So this phi n is proportional to 1 by 5. Clear? So with all these basics, right? So we'll go to our actual discussion. Right. So our objective is this one, right? Okay. So this is how we will control the speed experimentally, right? So we have this 220 volt supply, right? For example, this how when you have laboratory experiment is there, we are measuring the speed means voltage. We have this 3-point starter, and this is field winding, and this is the place where we connected this external resistance, right? This is field external resistance, and we have this motor, and this is armature external resistance. So this is the external resistance, so that is used in the armature circuit, and this is the one that is used in the field circuit, right? So we are using this SPST, right? Switch, right? So why we are using this switch? So when you are controlling, right, you cannot simultaneously, you can this control is decoupled, right? When you are using this armature voltage control, so you cannot usually implement this flux control, right? So therefore, so we have to close this or open this, we have to bypass this resistance. So when you are actually doing the armature voltage control, okay, it's clear. Similarly, this when you are doing the first one, we have to keep this one at the minimum position so that this is not affected, right? So this is how we will do in the experiment. The same thing, right? So this is how we will do in the simulation. So that is using MATLAB. So in MATLAB, you have DC motor or DC machine model is there, right? I just changed this name as a DC motor, right? In MATLAB, you have DC machine is available. Obviously, the DC motor, it can with the same machine can be used as a motor or a generator, right? So you have these 4 terminals. So this is armature plus, and this armature negative, and this is field windings. So you have these field windings. So here I connected this one to the same supply. So therefore it is shunt connected machine. I connected this to the same supply, therefore shunt connected machine. If you want to operate indifferently, if you want to operate with the series connection, so just you have to properly connect the field winding. Okay. If you want to separately excited machine, so this field winding is externally connected to a some other DC source. Okay. So here, this is the load torque. So this is the mechanical load equivalent. We need to input to this one. We need to input this to a mechanical load torque. And this is the measurement, right? This is the machine parameters, so that are measured. So here different parameters are measured. So one is, we are measuring omega m, that is the angular speed. And this one, it will measure the field current, IF, so armature current. And this one will measure the field current, and this one will measure the electromagnetic torque, so that is generated inside the machine. Clear? So these are about the terminals. You have this armature terminals, field terminals, and you have this load torque, means load terminal for TL, that is input for the load. So we need to externally give this one, and this is E. So this is for measurements, right? It is actually it is marked here, right? 4 variables are marked here. The first one is the angular speed of the motor, second one armature current, third one field current, and fourth one is the electromagnetic torque, so that is generated in the machine, right? So I used the gain of, so right, the 60 by 2 pi, so to convert this one into RPM, right? So this gives you the omega m. I used this gain to convert this into RPM, so that is 1222. Clear? So this is armature current, second one is armature current, third one is field current, and the last one is electromagnetic torque, right? Clear? Right. So I have selected already, we have decided these parameters, right? Okay. So this is the supply voltage. I have given supply voltage is 240, right? So roughly I calculated this load torque. So I have given for my parameters that I have chosen, right? So I have given this load torque 29.2, right? See, we already calculated this electromagnetic torque, right? So roughly I'm trying to operate the machine at full load, right? So initially I inserted two resistances. So I have chosen a very small this one. If you want to choose a very small resistance, so we have to choose this. We have to write EPS. So when you open this resistance dialog box, right? So it is trying means it is asking for a value, right? If you select EPS or if you write EPS in that box, so that will gives you the lowest possible value. That gives you the lowest possible value. So that means this resistance are present, but their value is insignificant. There is no significance for this resistance. That means it is a very small resistance is inserted here, right? Clear? So our what we are actually designed, right, with this load torque, it's supposed to produce, originally we are designed for 1220 rpm, right? So roughly this value is matches, right? It is showing 1222 rpm. Maybe we are not exactly means we are not provided the exact data, right? Maybe some points are missing. Maybe if you are considering 0.5, you may, if it is 0.56, sometimes we may consider 0.5, right? But the simulation will actually not consider, right? So therefore roughly it will shows the 1220 rpm, right? So armature current, in our case we are I think we got somewhere around 16.6, I think, right? So roughly it values matches here, and this is field current. So this matches also, this values also matches, and this is the torque, that is 29.2. I think we got somewhere around 29.5 or 29.6. So roughly all these values are matching with our design. If you use the exact values, right? So then, so all these whatever we obtain, right? So more or less in the same range. Okay, clear? So we roughly calculated all those values. If you use the exact values, so you will get the correct numbers, right? You got this one? You have any doubts on this? You have any doubts on this? So this is actually this mechanical load equivalent, right? So there is a motor, a mechanical load with pulley, right? So that is also available in MATLAB. You can replace with this one if you want. I just replace with some numbers, right? That is 29.2 I replaced. That is the load torque. Clear? You have any doubts on this? So this is how we will model the DC machine, and we are measuring the different parameters, right? So next we will implement the armature current, armature voltage control. So everything is same, right? So everything is same. Just I added, right? So armature resistance, earlier it is a small value of EPS, right? So now I change it to 0.4 ohm. I change it to 0.4 ohm, and the field winding is remain same. That is, I'm unchanged, right? Clear? So load torque is also same, right? So load torque is 29.2, and I measured the voltage, right? So this is 233.5. So your supply voltage is 240, but your armature voltage, that is voltage across this armature, so that is 233.5. So that means the remaining 6.5 volts, so that is lost in this resistance as a voltage drop. Okay, remaining 6.5 volts, so that is lost in this one, right? So only 233.5 volts is going to the motor, right? So therefore, if you notice that the speed, earlier it's supposed to be 1220, so now it is changed to 1187. Clear? The speed is reduced. So rest of the things are same. The field current is same, and the electromagnetic torque, whatever you have given, right? So the same thing, right? Here also the armature current is the same. Clear? I just inserted a 0.4 ohm resistance in the armature circuit, and the speed is reduced to 1187. The same thing, I just increased the resistance to 1 ohm. Right, I increased the resistance to 1 ohm and the field winding remains same. So now it is reduced to 223.8. Right, it is now reduced to 223.8, and the speed now it is reduced to 1136. Again, this armature current is remains same, and the field, I mean, in the electromagnetic torque is also remains same. Right, and the field current it stands at 1 ampere, but the speed is reduced to 1136 with addition of 1 ohm resistor. So I further increased. So now I inserted 2 ohm resistor. I inserted a 2 ohm resistor. So now the drop is almost reduced to 207. So that means almost 32 volts, almost 32.4 volts. The drop is in this one, right? So it is simple, right? This current is 16.22, right? So this is 16.22 into this 2 ohm. So that is 32.4 volts drop. Clear? So that is the drop across this armature circuit. So therefore the speed is reduced to 1049. Again, this armature current is same because we are not changing the armature circuit. Right, we just connected this one, right? The field winding is also same, and the electromagnetic torque that is produced, that is also remain same. Okay. So one observation is in armature voltage control method, so a lot of energy is wasted, right? In this resistance, so how much it is 32.4 volts is wasted, right? So therefore, what is the power loss here? What is the power loss in this resistor? So that is I square R, right? The power loss is 16.2 square into 2. So this much of the power, so that is lost in this resistor. Right? Clear? So that is 16.2 into 2. So almost around 525 watt power is lost in this resistor, right? That is huge, right? If a motor of 5 HP, that is a motor of 3700 watt, so this much of power loss is very high, right? So therefore, normally this armature voltage control is not exercised. So instead of wasting the power, what we have to do is, normally in industry, so instead of this 240 volts, right, instead of keeping this a fixed value of 240 volts, right, by using different power electronic converters, so we will change this value to whatever the value that we required, right? So that you will study once you complete the power electronic course. By using phase control rectifiers, you can obtain the different DC voltage. So this kind of armature voltage control method by using external resistance, so normally not employed in industry. So this is flux control, right? For flux control, we have to keep this. I changed this when I removed this external resistance. Now I keep it as a small value for this. Now I changed this. I inserted 10 ohm resistance in the field circuit so that the field current, earlier it is 1 ampere, right? So now it is reduced to 0.96, a reduction of 0.04 amperes. Okay. So now the speed is, it's supposed to be 1220, it is increased by plus 50 RPM. Right? Speed is increased by plus 50 RPM. And if you notice that the torque remains same, but the difference is the armature current increased, right? So earlier it is 16.22, right? So now it is increased to 16.9. Clear? So this is because to accommodate the same means speed, right? So it has to draw more current. So therefore, the speed is increased, means the current is increased. All this you might have studied. The same thing, I just inserted a 20 ohm resistance. Now the speed is increased to 1320, almost 100 RPM is increased, and the current is now 17.57, and the field current is reduced to 0.92. From 1 it is reduced to 0.92. Clear? So in case of flux control, there is no losses, right? So here, even though this is 30 ohm resistance, right, but this current is very small. So what is the current is 18.25, right? So its current value means, sorry, this current, this armature current, right? Its current is 0.88, right? So therefore the loss is 0.88 square into this 30. So its value is almost 30 volts, right? Its value is very small. So this almost neglected, right? So this is roughly around 20 watts or something, somewhere around, right? This is around very less value, right, when compared to the original one. Okay, so therefore this flux control is widely used in industry to obtain the speeds above rated speed. Okay, so generally there is less, there is seldom, is very rare to get, means very rare to run the machine at above rated speeds. So most of the cases we try to operate from 0 to n rated, right? Clear? So that means, so normally we try to operate, means in industry what they have to do is they try to operate the machine from 0 to n rated, right? Okay, in industry they are not use this armature voltage control by using external resistance, right? And whatever we studied is field winding control, right? That's the flux control. So that is also so not used. That is, even though that is efficient method and that is the only possible and the method, so that method is not exercised because we always try to operate the machine in the rated speed so that there is no mechanical vibrations. So when you try to operate at above rated speed, right, so there will be some mechanical vibrations, or the bearings may be lost, or the mechanical support that may be lost, and means that may be damaged, right, if you run it in a long time. So for instantaneous value, means for instantaneous change in the loads, so they may use these methods. So here also the current will be increased from 16, almost 2 amperes current is increased to accommodate this extra speed. Clear? It's clear? So this is about, right, so this is about the discussion. So what we have to do is, in your experiment, so you need to design, right, you have to design a 10 kilowatt DC motor with 220 volts supply, and its voltage is 220, sorry, its speed is 1500 RPM. So consider RAS 0.5 ohm, RF has 220 volts, so 220 ohm, and this LAF is 1.8. Okay, so your experiment is you have to design a 10 kilowatt DC motor, right? 10 kilowatt DC motor with 220 volt. It's fed from a 220 volt supply, and its speed supposed to be at around 1500 RPM at full load, right? It's full load speed, right? We need to consider some parameters. RA is 0.5, RF is 220 volts, right? So you need to consider these parameters. Okay, you can increase this one. You can maybe consider 2.5. Okay, so design this one in your experiment. Okay, clear? So you have to implement. So first you need to check that one, so whether this motor is giving this 1500 RPM at the rated torque. So once it is done, so from that you try to increase the speed and decrease the speed with the different methods that we discussed. Okay, you have any doubts on this? Anyone? I hope all are having MATLAB. Hello? All are having MATLAB, right? Okay. So this is about your experiment. So you have any doubts on this? Okay, if you have no doubts, I will stop here. Okay? Okay, complete this one and